Okay. I'm really liking the way this is coming out. I'm going to continue to work in different areas as I move along here. I like to have a couple Kleenexes in my hand so that I can control the amount of water on the page and in my brush. So that's why I have this always in my hand. Paint this side of this little leaf peeking through here, leaving a little highlight with a hard edge. And then I'm also going to, I'll let that kind of settle in. Let's see what's behind that. I think I'll paint the background too, and then I'm going to lift a little bit out after that dries. Let's see here. Let's just go right in against this leaf, coming right up against that wet area that I just painted. I have rose on my brush. One of the things I'd like to teach you is the beauty of layering and how these transparent colors show through on the page. You have, with this method, you have kind of a translucence that happens, and it's almost, I don't know, kind of magical in a way. Okay, I'll soften this edge. So just a slightly damp brush touching into that will soften that. And then we'll just let it naturally dry. Coming right up in here. Little yellow on my brush, and I'm just running across that stem, but not all the way across it. I want some of the highlight to continue to show, but have part of it in a little bit of shade or shadow. And then back in. So some of you might say, well, what's the point of painting that with all those greens and then coming over the top with the red? That doesn't make any sense, but it does. It makes it so translucent. Sometimes you would want to paint the same color on top, but sometimes you want to change the color on top. Let's see, you can experiment on your own with either using the same color layered over or one of the other colors on top. I've got a little yellow there. Let's make a little shadow over that stem too. Which berry is that? Confused which berry. I think I'll bring in some color right into this berry and move right across. Some yellow. Rose. and the blue on the underside. That's pretty powerful there. But I'm going to bring in some rose right up against that so it won't feel so strong. There we go. And let's move right into this next berry. Do a little negative painting there to bring in a little highlight. Right up here. A little yellow. Red. Into the next one. And the next one. So right here, here, here. A little more rose. Right up to about there, and then a little more blue. Very light with the blue. Just to kind of give it a little bit of a violet touch. Back in with my little number 6 Robert Simmons White Sable. Soften a couple of edges here. And bring out my highlight again. Let's bring a couple of these. I'll try. Hopefully that's, yeah, perfect, perfect. That little, it's almost like a little star. In fact, in this one, that berry that I haven't painted yet, it looks exactly like a little star, which is neat for Christmas, I think. I'll soften that. I'm gonna bring some light back in here, little reflections. Using that little finger again to keep my brush almost vertical to the page. Back in here, reflections. The berries are shiny, and so to help them appear shiny, we want that highlight on one side and then a reflection on the back side. You're going to see the same thing on other types of fruit. Like if you were going to do grapes, you could do them very much like I'm approaching these berries. Look at how pretty that violet is. I love it. And some bits of highlight over here on this side. A little bit down here. It's almost more reflections than highlight. The highlights are really where the sun is hitting the berries, and then in the shadow is where you see those little reflections on the shadow side. Nice. Okay, let's see, is there anything I want to do in here? Maybe come back. I don't know, it might be too late to lift anything out of this leaf. I had planned to, oh no, it's okay. I had planned to come in there and lift a little bit of pigment out. I'm going to push in some yellow right in that leaf. I think what I want to try to do is get up here and maybe lift a little bit of the shadow out. I don't know if I can do it or not. I'm not using a hard hard scrubby stroke, just slightly dampened my brush and just running it back and forth to lift a little bit of pigment out before it completely dries. Let's see if we can do it back here too. Just a little bit. That's nice. Yeah. So it feels like it's kind of tucking in under that leaf and shadowing in and then popping out into the light here. This one could also do that. If you look at the photo, you'll see that it's highlight here and then passing into shadow back here. This one's lit up very light. And that one is right there. So we'll leave that one light. This one's going to go into shadow, and this one is too. So maybe we'll do that right now. And I'll show you how you can do that. I'm going to, I have a little board back in here that's propping up my, my paper. So I'm going to lay my paper flat right here, and I'm going to take my brush, and this is my number 6 Robert Simmons White Sable, but the new one. And I'm dampening the stem, the white stem. Might be doing this a little bit early. Maybe I should be waiting, but oh well. And let's do the same thing on this stem here. Just dampening it. So I'll do a little bit of wet into wet. Wet into wet is when your paper is wet and you're adding wet paint. And so I'm wetting the paper first, and then I'm going to add my paint to that. And I'm going to mix my permanent rose with my Winsor yellow. I want it to be kind of a warm shadow. And then I'm just taking my brush and my Kleenex and taking some moisture out of the ferrule end of the brush. And now let's see how this works. So a little bit of that pigment touched in, touch it in right in here. Yeah, I think that's nice. And maybe a little bit more right in there. So we'll leave it light here and then shadowy as it moves in under the berries. Yeah, all right, we'll just let that dry. I think that's enough for right now, and I'll be back to you.